you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slinging action motorsports radio that packs the biggest gas?
Hi, Ken Roczen.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Vliet.
What's up, Ryan Dungey here?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys have learned to ride. Amy Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, and I got to say, this is a special episode. This is kind of some of our greatest hits of the first half of the year. We're taking a week break. I am sitting on a lake in Minnesota currently. Hopefully, Amy's view is as good as mine, but I doubt it is. But got a special show with a lot of cool interviews we've done throughout the year. So I don't know. It's been one heck of a 6-month roller coaster, Amy.
Oh, definitely. And, hey, you can't say your view is better than mine. Minnesota is basically the southern part of Manitoba. You know, we're hanging out. We're like neighbors right now.
Yeah, but are you sitting on a dock on a lake? That's what I'm saying. Like, my view, literally, my feet are in the water.
Well, I probably have my feet in the Okay? Okay.
All right. Well, see, you need to just come down here and have a beer with me is what needs to happen.
That sounds fantastic.
All right. Well, we're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Amy Houde and I will be your tour guides today throughout this special episode. We got Ken Roczen, Ryan Dungey, Juliana Daniel, and a whole lot more coming at you here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Hang tight, strap in. It's going to be one heck of a roller coaster today.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like sound bars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my first guest to the line, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend, Ken Block. How is everything going, Ken?
It's going good, Jim. How are you?
Doing good, man. Just another week in the studio, but it's been one hell of a journey. But speaking of journeys, let's talk a little bit about Gymkhana 8, man. First time you guys that I know of left the U.S. to film, I guess a full version of Gymkhana, man. Dubai. That's stepping the bar up a bit.
Yeah, well, it's actually not the first time. It's the second time. We did Gymkhana 3 over in France. But it is a big deal, though. It's only the second one out of 8 that we've ventured across the sea to do something. But I had a great partnership, for the past year with X Dubai, and they really helped us integrate with, doing this video over there and getting us all the approvals and all that stuff. So it worked out really, really good because Dubai was already on my list of places that I wanted to make one of these videos. And then they came along and approached me and made things a lot easier for us to get it done. So it was really cool. A lot of fun doing it. Great to interact with, a different culture, and really enjoyed that element of it. And it was an amazing place to make a cool video.
Yeah, well, and I guess, that being said, you can have a dream list of places, but unless, you actually have those places, wanting to help you with it, it definitely makes it hard to get everything pushed through.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to dream up all sorts of crazy ideas, but getting permission or getting the access is a completely different animal. And some places like LA and San Francisco, well, there's so much commercials and movies and TV shows that are filmed in those areas that there's great film commissions and they're totally used to that. But if you want to do something in a different area that doesn't have that system already built in, it can be quite difficult. So, I'm very lucky that I get to go out and make these videos, and they're incredibly fun to do. And it's amazing that people keep watching and enjoying what I do. But yeah, it's great to be able to partner with a place like Dubai and have them, just open their arms up and say, yes, come do this, and do it in all these most ridiculous locations. And yeah, it just really is. I'm quite a lucky dude that I get to do this stuff.
Yeah. Well, and talking about Dubai, I know, you've had that partnership with X Dubai. I know guys like Sheeny, from Nitro Circus, he's got a relationship with them as well. But Dubai, I've looked at it and go, man, this is a country they've literally opened their arms wide open for motorsports and action sports. And they're letting guys do base jumping and things that literally you can't do anywhere else in the world. And they've really embraced motorsports and action sports and taking it to heart.
Yeah, no, I agree. I went over there and visited just around a year ago, or maybe a little over a year ago. And I'd seen Dubai in photos. I'd seen sort of, the different things from architecture to motorsports. And I was pretty intrigued by it. And I thought that it would be a cool place to do what I wanted to do, but actually going over there and really getting a look around and seeing sort of the attitude towards action sports, towards extreme sports, towards motorsports, it was just really cool. And it was something that, I wanted to embrace and wanted to be a part of, and for them to kind of really make things available to me to really do everything that I wanted was just incredible. I mean, there wasn't too much that I asked for that they didn't deliver, and that's usually quite the opposite. Usually I ask for the moon and they say, okay, well, you can have 10% of that. Yeah. But with there I asked for the moon and they gave me, 95% of it. So it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, I know there was a spot, I think it was like in the opening of it, and, and it kind of, to me, set the tone, but I don't even know what to call it. Was it leopards you had in the car with you? I mean, it was just, you see that, and I go, man, this is really going to be over the top. And then you start, mobbing through sand dunes in the car, and I was like, man, I can feel this. You're getting it a little airborne and everything else, and I don't know. I definitely, it's got to be one of my favorite versions, and I know, everybody's got their favorite versions. I mean, I'm a kind of a purist. I love the very first one a bit, but this one definitely kept me entertained for sure.
Yeah, it was kind of fun writing out the script for that one because the desert element is so big there, but most of the city is right on the water. So I enjoyed the idea of integrating, the story from the sand all the way into the city and right down by the water. But at the same time too, there's a huge culture there around falcons and falconeering, and that's why I have the falcon with me in the beginning of the video, and it's stuff like that I enjoy interacting with the people and the culture, and then integrating that sort of stuff into there. And I don't know, I get to go around the world and make these cool things integrate with different, from LA to France now to Dubai, where we can really, embrace a part of their culture or part of their motorsport history, or, with somewhere like San Francisco, really, the history of car films there all the way back to, Bullitt. So, I think that integration and the stylistic interpretation of kind of the culture and the cities really helps those things, stand out and be unique.
Yeah. Well, do you have any idea? I mean, this is, we've had you on air, quite a few times at this point. And I think I've asked you everything. But at this point, I mean, when you first started, doing the rally thing, did you ever have any idea? I mean, I know it was something that you just, I think, wanted to do for fun. Did you ever have any idea this thing would steamroll into where you're at now and traveling the world with, hundreds of millions of YouTube views?
No. I mean, I started doing this just, for fun, and realized I had a little bit of natural talent to it, but I've worked really hard to try and be the best driver that I can possibly be. And doing these videos and all that really, sprouted from wanting to be in the car more and get more and more experience. And it's just one of those things that, the desire was there, and then it worked out to just be, an amazing opportunity to do really fun stuff with the car. So I'm very lucky that as a race car driver, not only do I get to go out and race amazing events, but I get to go do all these dynamic marketing pieces from, different things with different partners, like helping develop the RS and all the marketing around that this year. Sorry, the Focus RS, and all the way to doing, these Gymkhana videos. So I really consider myself one of the luckiest race car drivers in the world.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I've always, a lot of guys, they just do one thing, and to me, I've always respected you because not only do you drive cars, I mean, you're definitely a great snowboarder. I mean, you're out on dirt bikes. I didn't realize how good you were on a dirt bike until I started talking about, to some of the guys on a team, and they're like, oh yeah, Ken's really good, and start talking with them and hearing stories. I mean, you're a guy, you just like to do fun stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe in doing stuff, the best way possible that I can. And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, in a good way, try and be safe at the same time, but, always try and do stuff at the highest level. And not that I could ever be a pro on a dirt bike, but I enjoy, going out and riding the best that I can, jumping stuff and genuinely having a good time with it.
Yeah. Got to ask you, I know we got a mutual friend, Chad Reed. How you feeling about him this year? He's definitely killing it, man. I guess everybody's saying doing it for the old guys, but I got to say, I'm pretty darn impressed with old CR22 this year.
Yeah, no, I'm really stoked for Chad. I mean, a new bike and a new team, and he's had some very good results. It's kind of crazy how good Dungey's kind of running away with everything this year. But, other than that, it's great to see a couple of the guys like Chad really come back and put on a good show and be on the podium a couple times. And I'm stoked for him. Like, he's been around a long time. It's been great to watch him over the years compete, and now still killing it today.
Yeah. Hey, we got to take a short commercial break. Can you hang out on the line? I'd love to jump into talking some World Rallycross and Andreas Backrud after the break, buddy.
No problem.
All right, we're going to cut to a short commercial break. We come back, we're going to be talking some WRX, Andreas Backrud, Ken's new teammate, after this.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, and we got my good friend Ken Block on the line, talking a little Gymkhana 8. We're going to switch gears a bit and talk a little World Rallycross Championship. Ken, man, big off-season news. Going back to Europe, that's got to feel good. Running World Rallycross, I mean, the talent level over there is just insane. New teammate Andreas Backrud. I mean, big off-season moves for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really, the biggest part of all that is the fact that Ford has come and re-signed with me for another big long contract, and I will be I am now the main factory supported team to go race Rallycross. And in the past, I've just been a Ford sponsored driver. There hasn't been technical help. There hasn't been help developing my race car, any of that sort of thing. But now being an actual factory driver, I've got Ford Performance, all the technology and know-how behind the whole entire Ford Performance team, helping us develop a brand new race car to go try and, win that title. So that's probably the biggest step for me, because like I said, in the past, I was just a sponsored Ford driver. So when I went to the WRC, there was the factory team, guys like Nico Hervenden there, racing the factory team. And I was just paying to race a slightly lower level, customer car. So now, this is really a huge opportunity for me, because instead of just being someone paying to drive a customer car, now I have, the factory team, Ford Performance, behind me, helping develop the best, rallycross car that they can for me to go out and race and try and win a world title. So very cool for me. It's a huge step in my career. This will be the biggest, year basically of my career, stepping up to, World Rallycross, doing it with a 2-car team and doing it with Ford Performance behind me. So very, very cool for me. It's great to be in this position. I enjoyed racing in the GRC, but, the tracks that they have in Europe just fit me and my driving style a bit better, and being able to race against guys like, Petter Solberg, Sebastian Loeb, and, Andreas Backerud, all those, great drivers is just going to be a huge challenge. And that's what I want. I want a huge challenge to help me continue to push to be a better driver. And so really looking forward to all that.
Yeah, well, and and I got to ask you about Andreas Backerud, because he's one of my favorite people in motorsport. The guy, I've said for a long time, publicly, I'm like, this guy, I think there's a whole lot more there. And I'm like, and everybody wants to talk about European drivers coming to the States and vice versa. And I said, if there's one guy that I can handpick that just has the charisma and the personality to really be a global brand, I said it's Andreas Backerud. The guy, I love him to death, and he's even more fun when you get a few drinks in him. But how did he come into the fold? Because I see what you do, and I think he's an absolute, perfect fit for the team. And not only that, not from a personality standpoint, but from a driver standpoint. He's hands down one of the best in the world.
Yeah, it's not easy to pick, a driver to come and be in a team like mine, and it's really got to fit a particular mold. Someone that's really hardworking, really talented, but also is there to have fun and get along with a good group of guys. And Andreas just fits that. And the fact that he's raced, in Fords the past couple of years and been a monster athlete, the fit was just very, very good. So I'm really stoked, because, I wanted a driver that obviously was extremely talented, could help us win, a manufacturer title. But at the same time, too, I wanted someone that just would fit the team really well, get along with all of us, and have a really good personality. And that's really what Andreas is. He's extremely talented, but at the same time, too, he's had to really work for it, and really he knows what it takes to come from the bottom and really have to struggle and find the sponsorship dollars, to get to this level. So it's great to see that, he not only knows how to get in the car and drive it, but he knows the entire other side of the business to try and, put a car on the track. So he really genuinely appreciates the team and where we're coming from and what we're doing. So I think it's a perfect fit. I couldn't, we can't really say anything more complimentary about the situation, because I can honestly tell you, I'm really that happy. Like, we looked and talked to a bunch of different guys, and Andreas was kind of always my number one, and the negotiations, everything worked out really, really well. We're both very happy, and I think it's going to be a good couple of years of working with a really good, talented, Norwegian driver. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, well, not only that, he's been around, those tracks. He's got, he knows the tracks. I'm sure he's got setup and technical information in the back of his head, So he'll definitely be able to help you guys accelerate, the program once you guys get over there and kick things off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that being said, I know you're talking about your relationship with Ford. I got to ask, at the end, this all kind of ties together. But at the end of Gymkhana 8, we got kind of a glimpse of I believe it's called the RSRX. Is that what you're going to be campaigning in WRX? Is that the new Gymkhana car, or what's the story there? Can you tell us any more?
Well, that is the car that Ford Performance has been developing for me with M Sport, and there'll be more information to come out with it. I think tomorrow from Ford Performance, they wanted to do a big press release about what they've been doing. So, we put it in the video because that is the place where we know that we get a lot of views. So we wanted to really show off, what we've been developing. But yeah, that is the car that I'll be using in the next Gymkhana video and that I'll be racing this year. So, amazing to have that, knowledge and experience and abilities with Ford Performance to come in and really help us make the best vehicle possible for us to go race. And, I've been helping develop the Focus production car for the past couple of years. So now it's great to take that platform and go out and race it.
Yeah, for sure. So we got, before we let you go, we got a couple of fan questions that have rolled in, and actually a lot of fan questions, but I kind of handpicked 3 of them that we'll kind of shoot at you and direct from the fans. But first one, we had Charlie Bravo from the UK. He wanted to ask about Dubai. He said, was there any fees associated with all the marks you left on all these beautiful streets and stuff because they keep the place so clean, or was that all covered in the original, agreement?
Yes, there was definitely some concern with some of the spots, especially the Alcazar Hotel, where I did, a couple slides around the fountain in the entrance, and that's a very beautiful hotel, and they were definitely concerned about us leaving too many marks. So within an hour of us being gone, the production staff for the film already had a street cleaner in there, and those marks were virtually invisible. Like I knew that they were there. There was, a very small hint of them, but that's just sort of a part of this process. That when we go into certain areas, sometimes with the permissions that we get, we have to build in the budget to go in there and clean it up. And it's not everywhere. There's only a couple spots we really had to do that, places like a very nice bougie hotel, but it's definitely sort of a part of the game and is built into the budget.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. This one comes from Instagram. Dustin Bateman, he's asking, he says, Hoonigan, he says, the growth of the brand has been huge. He's like, where do you see the Hoonigan brand, 2-3 years out? And, did you expect the rapid growth that it's had?
Yeah, I mean, really, really stoked on the growth of the brand. It's been a fun project. It's great to be able to take, the messaging and what we do with a race team like, Hoonigan Racing, and be able to integrate that with products and really be able to share with the fans sort of what we love, as far as marketing messages and T-shirt designs and everything. So it's been really, really fun. And, more than anything, I'm just really stoked that the fans like it so much and, come and, follow the social media accounts and like the videos and like the photos and then, buy the T-shirts and everything that goes along with it. So, when I started off doing all this, I was much more integrated with DC with some of this stuff. But at the end of the day, DC was a skateboard shoe company, and they only wanted to do a small amount of the marketing and product. So Hoonigan has been a great outlet for me and my business partner, Brian, to be able to go out and have a lot of fun making the stuff and doing all the marketing. So really, I have the fans to thank that it's, without the fans, liking and wanting to buy the stuff, it really has nowhere to go. So, the fans that come along and buy the products and interact with us is really one of the coolest parts.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been, I've worked with Brian on a few projects. It's been crazy to see the growth of the brand. It's just nuts, to be honest with you. I mean, and I think that's a testament to both you and him and what you've done behind the scenes to help grow it.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, it's been tremendous. So last question, we got Mike Sellers from St. Louis wondering at some point, he goes, basically said, I know Ken's got some Rallycross engagements the next couple of years. At some point, are we going to possibly see him back doing some stage rally?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stage rally is still the basis of why I race cars, and it's absolutely what I truly love doing. Rallycross is very, very intense, and I really enjoy it too. But at some point, further down in my career, I'll be back doing stage rally as part of my program. So looking forward to those days. I've really enjoyed, racing here in America, but also racing in great places like New Zealand and in England and Spain. So I want to do that again someday. So it's just a matter of time and budget, though. At some point, it'll become more available to me, but right now it just isn't.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Ken, I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's a massive day for you with Gymkhana 8 just dropping. Last time I looked, I think you were well over 600,000 views in just a few hours. So congrats on another blockbuster, buddy, and we'll definitely talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Always, buddy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was Ken Block calling in, talking a little Gymkhana 8, and we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking some Supercross with Miss Amy Houde here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, joined on the line by Miss Supercross herself, Juliana Daniel. How's everything going, Juliana?
It is going so great. How are y'all doing?
I'm awesome.
Yeah, it's all good here. It's kind of cool to get you back on air now. We got you, I think, right after the first race of the season, and now you've had, full season of Miss Supercross. It's kind of cool to get you back on air and be able to kind of go full circle with this.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be back. I'm glad it worked out, and it is crazy that the season's already over. I honestly can't believe it. But yeah, I'm glad to be back and talk with you guys.
Well, Juliana, I got a question for you. You know, from that very first race in Anaheim to now the shootout in Vegas, you have seen and been through it all, and really on the ground level. So my question for you is, what has changed on your outlook of the sport of Supercross? You know, now before you were Miss Supercross to now.
Oh my gosh, so much. That's such a hard. You guys would have to lengthen your show extensively if I really answer how many things have changed for me. But in a nutshell, I mean everything. I cannot express how happy I have been to learn more about the sport, learn more about the families that these guys have and they come from, what it has taken to get them to where they are. That, I think, has been the most intriguing thing for me. I just didn't know how it all worked for them. And I have literally loved hearing the stories of these families that, you know, a lot of these guys have been doing this since they were, you know, barely able to walk, and their families literally live and breathe this sport for life. And they sacrifice day in and day out so that these guys can come out, and girls, and, you know, and do what they love. And that has been the most eye-opening thing for me. And it still floors me that is what it has taken. That's what these guys and these families do. And then just really being able to get to know the riders and their families. And I mean, they're such a welcoming group. And it's like a whole new love for the sport, because I already enjoyed it. Like, I love sports in general, and I love just like the competitive nature that you have to have and being able to watch it. And I literally, even, you know, this past weekend in Vegas, I still find myself every weekend at some point during the race, it just hits me and I'm like, oh my God, look at what these guys are doing. I mean, it is insane what they're doing.
Yeah, I think TV dumbs it down almost. I mean, it's one of the most exciting motorsports to watch on TV. But if you're down there on the track and actually do a track walk and you see how big these doubles and triples these guys are clearing, I mean, it puts it into perspective. You're like, oh my gosh, look how far they're jumping.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't understand, because, you know, there's so many people that watch TV and they've never been able to go to a race. And I actually started understanding that that's how, you know, a good portion of the fans are. So I tried to do Supercross Live, got their own Snapchat recently, and I tried really hard to give the fans that aren't able to be at the actual track kind of like a view of what it looks like. And I had so many people saying, oh my God, like, thank you for that view. Like, it's really cool to see it that way. You don't see it like that on TV. And so, yeah, I mean, TV definitely doesn't do it justice. Like, I have to say to anyone listening, if you guys ever had the chance to go to an actual race and be there in person, do it. You will not regret it, I promise.
Yeah, there was one, and I can't remember which track it was. It was a couple of weeks back, but you posted something, I think it was to your feed, but you were standing in one of the ruts, and it literally, you were like knee deep in the ruts. And I mean, you know, that put it into perspective. I was like, wow.
I mean, and what's crazy about that photo was that I still had on my boots, like my high boots. So that thing, I mean, it was like halfway off my leg, and I had on huge shoes. So, I mean, those were incredible. And I mean, every weekend there's some spot on the track that has something like that, you know, but I mean, those ruts were, they were gnarly out there. But gosh, yeah, people like to see that photo. It was fun.
You go from that to rain boots in Vegas this week, right?
Oh my God. I was that special person that didn't bring rain boots or a rain jacket or anything of the sort, because I'm like, oh, Vegas, it doesn't rain there. Nah, I don't need any of that stuff. And then it was just, oh my God, madness.
Yeah. But I think that was one of the first Vegases you've actually missed, right, Amy?
Yep, this is one of the first Vegases, I think, in 5 years, the East-West Shootout, that I missed. So bummed, and it kind of sucks because it was, you know, something popped up last minute, which can't really talk about, you know, Jim, you and I was saving the world. But, I had to, you know, cancel my hotel reservations and send that devastating text to all my friends, and I had to miss it. But, you know, I love the East-West Shootout. You really get to see what coast brings it, and you really get to see the teams battle each other, you know, in the Lights class especially, and it's such a cool event. There's always so much going on in the pit, and it's just definitely one not to miss. And it's kind of cool also because it's the last round of the year. And, as soon as that race is done, everyone can exhale, it seems, and everybody kind of kicks off those boots and relaxes, and the banquet, everyone gets together and, dances and has a good time, and it's just it's one of those, it's great environment, a great feel for that round, and I love it. Yeah, and I couldn't imagine, it never rains in Vegas. I couldn't imagine how that race would be, in the mud and the muck, but I'm sure you got a little taste of everything, Juliana, coming up to Toronto. I'm sure it was freezing cold, to pouring rain and all the different rounds. What do you say was your favorite round? Because I love to hear the stories. I love to hear, your personal experience from all these things, because I can really relate to myself. But what has been your favorite round and kind of why?
It's funny. Dave Prater, my boss, actually asked me the same question last night at our team dinner. And I looked at, I was thinking, I was like, you know what, Dave, I don't have a favorite round because for me, every single round was new. I had been to a couple of those stadiums, when I worked with Falcon Tire, but every single round doing the job that I was doing was brand new to me. So it's like looking back, there is a favorite part from every round, just whether it was the fans I got to meet or watching the guys build the track, or like this weekend watching the guys fix the track, which you're going, oh my God, are they really going to be able to do this? And then when it happens, you're like, that was insane. And it was a miracle. They're literally God's gift to the sport this past weekend. But I really don't have a favorite race. I just can't pick. It wouldn't be fair if I picked one. So literally it was just every single weekend I was so excited because it was going to be new and different. I really, like I said, I cannot believe it's over. It went so fast.
You have a memorable experience? I remember, I feel the same way. Every time I travel, every place I go, I don't have a favorite one because everything is different and it's so exciting any place I go. I love it all. But I do remember once when, back in the day when there is the Minneapolis Supercross, Ryan Dungey being the local hometown boy, I think he was in third place, moved to second, and then the whole stadium stood up and were cheering him on, and he passed for the lead, and it honestly brought me chills up my spine. I couldn't even imagine how that happened. It was unreal, and he won the race, and the fans went crazy, and that was probably my most memorable experience from a Supercross ever, because I couldn't believe the fan dedication to the sport and that one rider, and it was really remarkable to see, and that kind of changed my outlook on the whole industry. But did you have a memorable experience this year?
Yeah, I think that for me the most emotional one that I had was definitely this past weekend, mainly because I was just so nervous for them. To be down there and see how much water was on the dirt and how the dirt looked, and then you're sitting there, and it's like you're nervous, you're excited, that they're going to be fine. That's what they train for. They put themselves in those situations, during practice so that they can be able to do it at an actual race. But it was just so intense because, especially for that 250 race, that 250 main, even with it being shortened, it was still like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Is this guy? And then, it was just, to watch it was so much fun because it was such a good race. At the same time, I was so nervous because I'm going, oh my God, are they going to do okay over there? Are they going to and it's just, I watched a little bit just of some clips from it, but, because when you're down on the track, you can't see it all. And just watching some of those guys who, granted, you couldn't even see who was who because they're all covered in dirt, but some of those wrecks and some of those guys that it literally, it's like I'm standing down there going, oh my God, don't pull your hair out. Don't look so worried. Act like it, but I was so just emotionally involved last night or Saturday night because I was scared for them. I didn't want them to get injured. I wanted them all to do well and have a successful race. But at the same time, it was so nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
Mud races, everything changes. It's all about almost a little bit of luck more than training, and it's one of those that you can have a little tiny accident and it'll all be over for that leader and that winner. And it's the mud races, it's anybody's game. It's perseverance, outruns it all. But Juliana, I really just hearing you talk about the series and what you've taken away from the 2015 Supercross, they couldn't have done a more fantastic job of choosing a Miss Supercross to represent the sport for what it is. The families, the riders, they say it takes a village kids to raise a family, but it takes a whole village to, have a successful Supercross racer. And, just how you talk about your experience, I couldn't have asked for a better Miss Supercross. You've done a fantastic job. I hope you come back next year. What's next for you?
Well, let's see. By the way, so much for that. I really do appreciate that. It's been really fun to do what I do. So thank you for saying thank you. Next for me, well, I'm hoping that I get to come back. They haven't said whether or not I am. So I'm hoping that I will get. Well, thank you. So that would be just amazing if they had me back. But next for me, I'm actually I was working with the supplement company up until December, and I didn't renew my contract with them. But as of a couple weeks ago, they reached out, and probably going to get back on board with them and do similar things to what I used to do, but and a little bit more involved as far as maybe do some blogging, some writing, just kind of make it more of a actual job and position instead of just being like their sponsored athlete, the face of their product. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'll be going back to Atlanta on Wednesday, actually, to go meet with them and kind of talk it out and see what we can come up with that everyone's happy with. And also I'm going to just try to get some more hosting work out here in Los Angeles. I have a reel put together, and I'm going to be adding in my stuff from inside the races and the stuff that I did with Fox Sports and adding that into my reel and then sending it to people, and hopefully that, hope that I'll just get some extra work when I can, because, I have a passion for hosting. So that's kind of the goal, is to stay within my fitness love that I have with my supplement company and then kind of break open those doors to the hosting world. So if it's in sports, if it's entertainment, I don't care. I love them both. So any work I would take. So that's kind of the plan right now, and it's just a matter of what happens.
The outdoor series, make a little blip on your radar? Do you think you're going to attend a couple of the outdoor motocross series this year?
I don't know. People are asking that, and if they were to say, hey, could you be involved? Absolutely. I would for sure be involved in that, but I don't know. I don't know if that's something they have done in the past or would like me to do, but I'm absolutely open to it for sure.
You feel like now, that the season's over. I mean, I've traveled with multiple different motorsports series, the past couple of years as an on-air talent. It seems like at the end, it becomes your family. It's like a big traveling circus, and the circus goes from city to city to city, and you've got this family that's not really your family, but it's like your adopted family. And then when it's over with at the end of the year, you're like, oh crap, it's kind of weird. I might not see these people for like 6-8 months. Do you kind of have that feeling now, because these people, they've been with you for 6 months?
You couldn't have said it more perfectly. It was last night. We had our team dinner, and it's so weird. I literally was going, you guys, first of all, what does one do on a Saturday night? Because I don't know, because I don't remember, because my Saturdays have been Supercross for so long. And then I was like, what am I going to do without all of y'all? Like, it's going to be so weird, because they literally are family. And I told him, I was like, can we have like a quarterly get together so that we can all see each other, and it's not just like this, all of a sudden you're with each other all the time and it's like just nothing. It's really, really sad, because a lot of these people, I got close with, and I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be very weird. This weekend's going to be very, very weird for me, for sure. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Everybody's going to be at home texting each other, it's going to be, this big group text.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll just all watch replays. It's just make us feel like we're still doing it. I don't know. It's going to be so strange.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in today. I don't know. Do you have anything left for Juliana before we let her go, Amy?
No, I just hope you come and check out an outdoor race. It's a completely different ball game as well. Like it is cutthroat, it is gnarly and hot, and it's it'd be cool for you to come and see that side of the motocross industry too. But yeah, I hope you're back next year for sure. I think you did a fantastic job at representing the sport and keeping it classy, and I just think you're a great face of the Supercross industry. Definitely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, the door is definitely open to you anytime you want on air, Juliana, and wishing you all the best, and hopefully see you back.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate it, and I love talking to you guys, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Keep in touch.
All right. Y'all take care. All right. Bye.
Awesome having Juliana Daniel on air. And we're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, and wrap things up.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Hey, calling all you river area locals and seniors. Get to Blue Water Resort for fun slot tournaments. Play for a chance to win $500 for first place. Plus, each participant will also receive $10 in free slot play. 55 years or older seniors slot tournaments are Tuesdays from 1 to 4 p.m. And lucky locals, your slot tournaments are every Friday night from 5 to 9 p.m. For more information, visit the club.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
No need to dress up. Wear your tank tops and flip-flops. Just get to Blue Water Resort and Casino every Wednesday from 4 to 8 and again Sundays from 2 to 6 for a chance to win cash prizes. Club members play for a chance to win their share of $1,700 cash giveaway every Wednesday and Sunday. It's tank tops and flip-flops in July. Plus, the new members receive $10 in free slot play. Plus, 2 free spins on the 100 or nothing promotional slot machine and so much more.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here. A very special edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Greatest hits of 2016 so far, and it's been one heck of a year.
So, because it's Independence Day, one of your guys' greatest holidays, and everyone's out having a good time and enjoying life, I got to ask you, Jim, in 2016, I mean, it hasn't been that long. It's only July. But so far, what has been your greatest, so far this year, the greatest kind of motorsports holiday? You know, gone out on a weekend here, done a little bit with your family there, you know, maybe our Vegas adventures with everybody at the Mid-400. But what's been your best so far motorsports holiday?
Oh, man, it's been a great one. I got to say, finishing my hometown race, Parker 425, didn't have a great finish, but it was a nice first race of the year to get a solid finish in the book, 425 miles. The last couple of years it's plagued me with a few issues, but it was great to get that in the books. Obviously, you and I had some fun at the Mint 400. It's always fun. I was bummed I wasn't actually racing that one, but man, I've emceed and announced so many events and everything else this year. It's been a heck of a roller coaster. It's hard to single something out. I know, like right now, I've got some stuff I can't even talk about on air, like these plans and stuff in the works that are huge that I'm excited about, and I can't even talk about them, and those are going to be ranked right up there as well. But I don't know. I would say you and I both, just blessed. You know, you're asking me that question, and I can't even give you a definitive answer. That means I lead a very blessed life that I can't really even chalk it up. Have to say, finishing the Parker 425 to kick off the year. definitely a number one on the list. But, just lots of moments. I mean, just spending some time, at races with people. And, I was actually spent some time with Travis Pastrana at one of the rallies in his motorhome. And one of those things where him and I were just in there shooting the bull for 30 minutes, like old friends. And you don't get time like that with Pastrana very often. And, something like that, that was really special for me because I've known Travis for a long time. But, not often it's just me and him in a motorhome for 30 minutes, just literally talking kids' stories and life and in everything not action sports and motorsports. It was just, two guys talking about, funny kids' stories and things like that. And, and it's moments like that I can pull in and remember and things like that really stand out in my mind. And it's not something I care to share on the air what we were talking about, but it's things that in the back of my mind, hey, that was a special moment. But we're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back after this.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, and a very special edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Greatest hits of 2016 so far. I know the show's had a lot of them. I've had a lot of them. Amy, you've had a lot of them. So right now we're flipping the script. Same question you aimed at me, I'm aiming at you. Favorite moments of 2016 so far?
It's been a little slow start to my season, actually. I've been adulting. I've been doing lots of stuff at home and, getting my house ready, getting my bikes ready. But I have to say that my greatest moments of this year are about to come. I am so stoked. I cannot wait for heydays. I've been counting down the days. It's like having an advent calendar for Christmas time. I'm just okay, it's coming down. But
did you cheat on your advent calendars when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, man. Okay, well when I was a kid and my mom kind of monitored it. No, as soon as I got them on my own, I freaking ate all the chocolate the first day because the advent calendar chocolate's so good. You just can't get that chocolate anywhere else. But I can't wait for heydays and being able to jump back into Polaris RZR this year and finally race again. But I'm actually more excited for the infamous heydays party that we partaked in last year. It's going to be a good time. But so far this year, I have to say that the Mint 400 was probably one of my favorite moments because I actually got to make it out to the race this year. Last year, I had a fly back home, and it was just so cool. It was the first time I ever really seen a desert race in my life. And just seeing all the trucks in action, not just getting pushed down Fremont Street, was such a cool experience. And it just made me really, kind of fall in love with motorsports all over again. I had such a cool time. And it's not every day I actually get to experience something new in this industry. I've done and seen almost everything I thought. But, kind of stepping into the desert world was pretty freaking rad.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite moment so far.
Yeah. Well, and I got to say, there was some, you and I, we did radio on Fremont for 3.5 hours. We went way
and
overtime.
We had the best interviews.
Yes.
That was the best day. We had so many people running by, being like, "Can I come on? Can you interview me?"
Yeah.
I like that. I love that people really just wanted to, jump on and share something that they had going on, and it was such a cool environment and a cool vibe. It was great.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite moments. There was one interview we did with, I think it was Renner and Cameron Steele together, and it's not often that you get the guy that's called all of Renner's gold medals, with him on air, and just a really cool moment. But, we got to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. More interviews coming up after the break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here. We've got 2016 Supercross champ Ryan Dungey on the line, and I got to say that has a pretty good ring to it, Ryan.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting. This past weekend was able to wrap up the championship, so definitely very fortunate and excited to get it done another year. You know, it's last year winning in 2015 the title, but trying to back it up again and the challenge of it. So it's cool to finally say we've done it. You know, a lot of effort gone into it, but yeah, we've got one more race left coming up, so we'll try to finish it strong. Finish the season out good.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, I mean, you know, heading into this year, I mean, you know, obviously you came off last year, you know, and that was, I don't want to say breakout year because you had a Supercross title before, but you know what I mean? It was like, you know, the reemergence of Ryan Dungey. I mean, heading into this season, there's preseason, you know, there's rumors about, you know, all kinds of guys. I mean, what were your goals? Obviously, you wanted to back up the title, but what were you expecting heading into 2016?
Well, without a doubt, it's going to be a challenge, you know, absolutely. And two things, you know, the challenge of defending the title and the challenge of, you know, competing every single weekend, you know, with a lot of multiple guys who are giving us a lot of fights. You know, I mean, obviously there's not one or two guys out there that we're competing against as far as going for a win. You know, I mean, there's the depth of talent is so deep. You know, there's a good 10 guys that could win on any weekend, and so, you know, positioning ourselves good and getting good starts, and also the preparation coming into the season. You know, that's where everything kind of really builds off of, it starts from, and Team Red Bull KTM, my team I'm on, and the testing and everything that we've done preseason coming in. You know, we knew we had to get our homework right and be right on point. So I tried to focus on that. And when the season started, you know, just try to really come into it strong and maintain it and maintain that consistency too, or try to. So, yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the thing. You know, defending. You know, winning in 15 was great, but to back it up and defend it again was another challenge, and it wasn't easy. That's for sure. I mean, definitely a lot's going on. A little bit of, you know, the pressure and everything of doing it, but you know, just more try to focus on week in and week out, giving it my all, and doing my best. You know, the preparation during the week and doing it 100%, and then same with on the weekend too. You know, just executing our plan of attack and good starts and good laps, no mistakes, and trying to rack some wins up. That, you know, so you know, it's that was it. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, and you know, heading into the 2016, I mean, Supercross is a grind. I mean, I would say the only other series that I could think of that's, you know, this much of a grind would be something, you know, like NASCAR, where every single week, I mean, you guys get like one break the entire season. I mean, you know, a lot of guys, it seems like, you know, they hit plateaus, you know, and they're really hot and then they go down and then they bounce back. I mean, how hard is it for you? I mean, you know, to get the lead in round 2 and, you know, to have the red plate, you know, all season long. I mean, you know, a lot of guys, you know, it seems like, you know, they fall back a little bit in the points. They can take a breather, you know what I mean, and then, you know, try and make a charge. But I mean, you know, you're there, you're the guy, you know, you've got a target on your back, you know, each and every week, and there's no breathing room at all.
No, absolutely, and I think that's another challenge. You know, I mean, like you said, you know, we raced 17 weekends in 18 weeks. We raced 17 of those weekends, so we get one weekend off in the middle, and two, you know, that's why it's so important to be prepared coming into season and being mentally fresh. You know, I mean, the physical side's got to be there, mental side's got to be there, because those weeks can start clicking off back to back to back, and it wears on a guy, you know. But that was always something in my career. Like, I've seen that. You know, I've seen a guy who was there, and then the mental side would start to kick in and wear a guy out, and then he'd fall off a little bit, and then he'd make a charge at the end of the year. But I more wanted to always, you know, it's a challenge for sure. It's tough, but, you know, finding that mental edge to keep digging deep even when the times get tough. And you know, it's a lot of routine in our sport. We're riding during the week, 3 days a week, and then fly Friday, race Saturday, back Sunday. So I really wanted to focus on, you know, doing my best and giving it, you know, being there every single weekend, you know, and you have to be as well. You know, there's too many guys out there that will take advantage of you slacking off or if you have an off weekend, you know. So, like I said, you know, being consistent and trying to consistently win, or if not winning, at least being on the podium. And, you know, that red plate, it's good, you know, and to have the points lead, but the focus wasn't like, oh, we're in the points lead, now we have everything to lose. You know, the focus was to build on it, you know, to keep building in, you know, in a sense, especially at the beginning of the series into the middle. I mean, there's way too much racing to even start thinking about the points. So the motivation was there and the excitement factor. So, yeah, it's a grind, but it's one that I enjoy, you know. I mean, I don't have to ride dirt bikes. You know, I get to ride dirt bikes for a living, you know. It's pretty exciting, and to race for that, you know. So it's a lot of perspective is everything in that as well.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, and compare these 3 championships, because none of them have come easy. I mean, every single time you take the gate, you know, people can say, oh, so-and-so was injured. It was a little bit easier, but so-and-so's injured, and there's always a guy, you know, willing to, you know, to fill that spot and push you. You know, there's always another guy in line. I mean, compare the 3 championships. I mean, you know, which one, you know, of the 3, do any of them stand out in your mind that was just a little bit tougher to win than the others?
Yeah, I mean, I get asked that a lot. Which one meant the most to you? Well, it's kind of hard to say because they all have so much meaning, you know, and especially, you know, with 2010, I was a rookie. It was my first year in the 450 class, and I knew I had maybe a good shot, but everything worked out in the end. I was able to wrap up the title, and only McGrath was able to do that. So it was kind of a tall order. I knew that going into the season, but I mean, being a rookie in the 450 class my first year, that was exciting in itself. And, you know, from getting my first 450 win and then the championship, it was like amazing. You know, everything I could have dreamed of at that point. And then, you know, had some tough years, was trying to figure some things out, and then I started racing. I moved over to the team I'm on now, Team Red Bull KTM, and I started with them, and they weren't such a popular brand here in the States. As far as they were popular, but not on the competitive side. You know, they weren't winning races or by any means. But you know, I went with them and signed with them, and it took some years to get it figured out. So, but in 2015, when we got the Supercross title last year, I mean that was special in its own, just because it was KTM's first 450 Supercross title, which, you know, for them it was a big step in America, and for myself to be a part of that and to provide or be able to come through for them, that was exciting as well. And then now in 2016, the challenge of backing it up and doing it again, you know, and trying to pull off another championship is a tall order as well. And to do it again back to back was the goal of mine coming into the year. So, you know, the three, you know, have their own meanings, but, you know, it's hard to pick one, but they're all special in their own ways.
Yeah, well, and how has it been for you as a rider working with Roger? I mean, obviously he's worked with some of the best, you know, some of the best Supercross riders of all time. I mean, you know, how has it been working with him, and how have you seen your riding and, you know, and the way you attack races change since you know, teaming up with him?
Well, I mean, that's the guy who gave me the opportunity of a lifetime in the professional ranks. You know, being able to sign with him back in 2006 and having a factory ride, and that was just the bonus of it all. But him to be able to work with somebody who has so much knowledge and experience in racing. You know, he raced 20 plus years, and now, I mean, for 30 plus years, he's been a team manager, and just all that knowledge and wisdom and being able to go to somebody who understands the sport, understands the mental side, the physical side, and the bike side. I mean, he's got the whole package, you know, in a way. So, you know, working with him has been, I really feel, you know, I probably wouldn't been, I don't think I would have had as much success as early in my career as I did if it weren't for Roger. You know, I mean, from starting with him, I was able to kind of really grow fast, and that was also around guys like Ricky Carmichael at the time, and then Ivan Tedesco. So I was riding with the top of the best of the sport at the time, and then working with the best team manager in the business, in my opinion, and Roger, and he took me in. He took me in like a son, you know. He really, I listened to him. I was always interested in everything he had to say, and even to this day, you know, I learned things from him. It's not just on the track or in racing, but in life lessons in general. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure, you know. We've been able to really grow our friendship and our relationship, and he's an awesome guy, and it sure is a pleasure and an honor to work with such a good guy, you know.
All right, we're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. When we come back, we're going to finish up this interview with my buddy Ryan Dungey.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ RZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here. We got 2016 Supercross champ, I guess 2015 and 2016 back-to-back Supercross champ Ryan Dungey hanging out on the line. And I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about Ryan Villopoto. There was a couple of years, there. I don't want to say in the middle of your career, because I would say you're in the middle of your career. But between when you won your first Supercross championship and then the 2015 championship, where it seemed like week in, week out. I mean, you and Ryan Villopoto were 1-2. I mean, how was it racing against a guy that people want to talk about? You can count the best Supercross riders of all time on one hand, and obviously at this point you and Ryan both come into the picture. But I mean, how was it? How did that raise your skill level? And what did you learn from racing against Villopoto for those couple of years? I mean, literally bar to bar every single week.
Well, at the time going through it, obviously Villopoto, he's a tough competitor. He's proven that. He's shown he was very dominant for many years in a row. And I mean, our battles go back to the amateur days, and when we were kids. And I remember growing up, and he's always been tough to beat. He's always a tough competitor. And the tough part was getting beat. I was like, gosh, man, what is it? Like, what do I got to do? And then you start searching a little bit, and that's never good, because then that creates a little bit of doubt. But I don't regret any of it. He definitely, I would say won multiple championships over the battles we had over the years. He came out ahead, but at the same time, I'm able to look back at it now and realize how much better of a person it made me and how much better of a rider. If it weren't for him, and he wouldn't have pushed me to that next level that I probably needed to be at right now to perform and to win, and to be a title contender. So it was tough going through it at the time, but like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and it really did. It wore me out to the point I thought about it a lot, and probably didn't handle it like I should, but it really did. He made me a better rider and stronger rider. I just didn't know it at the time.
Yeah. Well, that being said, right now you're riding at such an elite level. We got one round left here in Vegas this weekend, the finale, and then, roll right around into motocross. I mean, how you as a rider, what kind of adjustments do you have to make to, when you switch gears and go to the outdoors?
Definitely the bike setup's a little bit different, and the one thing you got to remember too, we've been riding Supercross all year, and our bike setups are more stiffer, a little bit more aggressive engine package, and kind of a different chassis adjustments and so forth. So we're kind of used to the stiffness, So the transition, you got to really be careful not to, because outdoors you want a lot more softer, a lot more comfort, and a little bit more less aggressive engine package. So you kind of have to be careful because you're so used to one way, and then you got to adapt to this other way. And so we'll make the necessary adjustments needed, and we've been testing already. We've been riding outdoors the last over a month, 1 day a week, and now we're starting to bump that up, being that we're so close. And so I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward. It's nice to wrap this title up here in Supercross, and yeah, absolutely. I'd like to finish up in Las Vegas strong. I like going there and racing in that town, and then or in the city, and so. Then we'll have a couple weeks, and then the first round of outdoors will get underway. So we'll be testing a little bit in between Las Vegas and Hangtown and trying to get our setup better and, physically getting better as well, too. So we're pushing. Got trainer Alvin Baker and the boys that I ride with, Jason Anderson and Marvin Muxlin. So we got it going.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, I mean, obviously outdoors is coming up, but, looking, 3-5 years down the line, I mean, obviously, you're riding at such a high level right now. I mean, we're going to see you in Supercross and outdoors for years to come. But, I mean, 5-10 years out, I mean, where do you want to be? Do you want to still be on a bike? I mean, have you eyed anything in the, in the four-wheel market? I know a lot of ex-Supercross guys, it seems like, they start looking at off-road trucks and Rallycross cars and things like that. I mean, those opportunities have had to pop up for you here and there.
Well, I mean, for sure, I definitely love the opportunities that come the way, but, right now I think the focus is on racing. And, as long as I can do it and be competitive and give it 100% and battle for the top spot, then I'll be here. There's definitely a lot left undone that I haven't accomplished yet, or as far as more that I want to do in the sport on the track and then off the track as well, being a good role model and leader for the sport. But, I feel like our better days are still ahead of us, and I want, as long as I can do it 100% and, be competitive, then I'll be here. So.
Yeah. Well, and talking about being a role model and a leader, I mean, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and, there's so many cool things that you do. I mean, obviously, you've out of, the realm of, of motocross, but, you obviously the first motocross guy on a Wheaties box. I mean, you took the ESPY award last year. I mean, you've been highly successful in pulling in some non-endemic sponsors like Target and that. I mean, it seems like you're a guy, I mean, you do a lot behind the scenes. It's not just on the bike, but giving back,
Yeah, well, I've definitely been I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of great people and a lot of great sponsors. I mean, like you said, the ESPY last year was a huge step for not just myself, but for the whole sport of motocross. Getting that mainstream recognition was awesome. I mean, our sport's got a lot of growth, I feel like, left, so this was good. And then the Wheaties box, to be able to be on the cover and be displayed across the whole country of the United States, it was huge, and it's something that all these things, I want to really benefit the sport of. And for me, I'm definitely for me, it's more just thankful to be a part of stuff like that. And hopefully we got more opportunities to do more great things, such as those things. So I look forward to, giving them my best, and then we'll see what arises. And, motocross I've done it my whole life, so I definitely want to leave it better off than I came in. And I came in 2006, and between the growth of the sport, the bikes, the equipment, the fans, and then our TV packages, we're live every single weekend. It's pretty exciting, so we'll see what we can keep doing, and hopefully there's much more potential and opportunity that all lies ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before we let you go, I got one question, and, it's been asked, we do a Q&A segment every single week on the show, but it's been asked a lot of times, about me, because I've found a niche in being paid to drive off-road trucks. But a guy like you, I mean, there's a lot of kids that are on their bikes every single weekend hitting the local tracks and things like that. And, you and I both know there's 15 to 20 guys, actually making a living, racing Supercross. I mean, what's your advice to some of these kids coming up and they're watching you on TV on Saturdays and, and they're hitting the track as much as they can? I mean, do you have any advice for these kids, because they all want to be the next Ryan Dungey, and you and I both know there's only one of you, but any words of wisdom for these kids on I guess continuing to progress?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just keep it simple. I mean, why you started riding a dirt bike? Because it was fun, right? I mean, I feel like these days, the riders and the parents, especially to the kids, are so focused on, I got to get my kid to the pro level, that, you could buy, childhood could be a blur because you were so focused on where you wanted to be. You're looking in the future, and you could get there for sure. But these are the times you got to enjoy, and you got to have fun. You got to enjoy riding your bike because that's when things come easy. That's when you learn new things. When you're kind of open, your mind's open to it, and as far as if you don't have the funds or the equipment or the best equipment, I didn't either. I as a kid, I feel like I didn't always have the good stuff, the great suspension, the best bike setup, but I didn't know it either. And you know what? I made what I had work, and I did the best I could. And I feel like my parents gave me all the support that they could, and and it made me a better rider because of it. And when you do get the good stuff, it'll just be all that much better. So I say just keep having fun, keep enjoying it, and keep believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then that's a big step, and expect good things. So.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Ryan. I know you're awful busy, but Vegas this weekend. Good luck. Hopefully we can see you cap things off with victory number 9 on the year, I guess, and set your personal best, right?
Yeah, that would be great. We'll try to accomplish that next, and appreciate your time too.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Ryan. Good luck, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, buddy. We'll see you.
Yep. See ya. Awesome catching up with Ryan Dungey. Such an awesome guy. I mean, those of you that listen to this show know that I've been a big fan of Ryan Dungey for quite some time, and it's really, really cool after all these years of doing radio. I mean, watching this guy, progress to finally get him on the show and be able to pick his brain on a few things, and the guy just down to earth. Just a good dude, and talking about leaving the sport of motocross in a better place than when he started, and it's truly is just a good, solid quality human, and gosh, the accolades this guy's getting. Obviously the ESPY award last year, best male action sports athlete. The Wheaties box this year. I know I've got one of those sitting on a shelf just because the novelty of it. Always like to support things like that, and it just what he's accomplished, it's crazy, and to think that he's just now possibly getting towards his peak, and he's got 3 Supercross championships under his belt. I mean, I think the sky's the limit for Ryan Dungey. It should be interesting to see the next 3 to 5 years what happens in his career, because he could break a lot of records and arguably go down as one of the greatest ever. Not that he isn't already, but I think there's still a lot more to come from Ryan Dungey, and congrats to him on the championship. Well deserved. Obviously, Ken Roczen taking the victory this weekend as well. We'll catch up with him later on the show. Right now, we're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, and we got the big winner from the weekend, Ken Roczen, on the line. How's everything going, Ken?
Excellent, guys. Thank you very much.
Well, stoked to have you on, buddy, and you want to talk about some momentum. I would say you are definitely the hot ticket right now. Picked up a couple of wins the past two events. You've got 5 podiums in a row now. I mean, you guys definitely have a lot of momentum this Supercross season.
Yeah, we absolutely do. We did some changes to the bike going into Santa Clara, and that helped me out big time. I can finally do whatever I want with the bike, and not the bike do with me. So, yeah, that helped us out a lot. And, we could have had a couple of more wins, I think, here and there, because we've just been working really good together, and things have been working out great. But, I got 3 seconds in a row and 2 wins in a row right now, and we're planning on finishing the season off strong next weekend in Vegas.
Take us through the ups and downs, of a Supercross season, because, it's such a grind, and we've talked with other Supercross riders on the show, but, Supercross is unlike, any other motorsport. The only thing I can think of with the grind would be NASCAR, just because it's every single weekend. Not only, you guys don't have any downtime. As soon as the event's over, you may get a day or two at home, and then you're off to the next event. How does that wear on you as a rider throughout the year?
It's pretty tough. We had around, I think, 11 or 12 races in a row, and then we had 1 weekend off, and then we have the last few, and it's overall 17 rounds. So, it can definitely get hard. It's just, you have to try. It's not just the racing, but all the training we're doing, and you have to travel every weekend, and that can be quite far. It definitely wears on your body, but with my program this year, I'm as fit as I can be, and things are not wearing as much on me this year than with my previous programs. They were a little different, and I started bogging down. But I finally, me and my trainer Peter Park, we have found a great system and a great program to be able to do what we do this late in the season.
Well, and that being said, heading into 2016 Supercross, obviously, you had some wins last year, coming off a big win at in October at the Energy Cup. What was your predictions coming in this year? Because obviously you're riding at a high level. You had Dungey coming off the Supercross Championship, and there's a ton of guys that are gunning for you guys.
Absolutely. Our expectations are high, or my expectations are high. I don't settle for anything less than a championship. We had some great momentum this year, and it seems like we finally figured out the bike a lot more, and that helped all of us out. Where last year, it was we were in a little bit of a tough spot. Also, some injuries, so I couldn't race the full season. This is actually only my second full season that I'm racing this year. But, hey, I think the most important thing is that things are clicking and I'm having fun because, that makes racing and the training a lot easier. And I've enjoyed every single race, every bit of it. it. That makes it fun and easy. And, I can't wait to actually finally start the outdoor season. We have been riding Supercross for months and months. So finally we're starting to ride big outdoor tracks. It's just a lot different, but I'm having a blast with that too.
Yeah. And when does that transition start for you as a rider? Because obviously Supercross and outdoors, I mean, it's two totally different bike setups, two totally different worlds. I mean, when do you flip a switch in your mind and start training for outdoors versus Supercross, or start doing some crossover for both? I mean, is it about a month left in Supercross, or, how do you make that transition as a rider?
Yeah, that's about right. I would say I started riding motocross, a few weeks ago, obviously in between when we had the off weekend. I went to California and got some testing done there. Obviously, we still have a lot of work to do, but we usually start with about, I would say, the last month, like you said, for Supercross is when we start transitioning over riding motocross once a week, and now I have just been doing 2 days a week because we've ridden Supercross for months now. So it doesn't really have anything, actually. Motocross helps you because it is just a different type of endurance and makes you a little bit sharper. Yeah. So, I mean, we're trying really hard to get everything settled and get everything right, because we do, after next weekend in Vegas, we do only have one off weekend, and then we go straight into outdoors. So it is definitely, bike setting-wise, quite a bit different. And also, starting riding motocross, it's a lot harder on your body. So it just takes a couple of weeks to get used to. But training-wise, so far, hasn't changed for me. I mean, when you're fit, you're fit. It's all about getting seat time on the bike.
Well, and you've got to be pretty pumped. I mean, outdoors, you get to virtually, start all over again. I mean, you're riding at such a high level right now. It seems like, things on the Suzuki have really started clicking for you guys and the team. I mean, it's got to be really exciting with the prospects of, hey, here in a couple of weeks, we're riding at our best we have all year, and we get to start over from scratch.
Exactly. And I'm going to definitely start off the season pushing hard and definitely have to battle for race wins. I mean, you can see Dungey has been really, really consistent, so you cannot settle for anything less than a podium, and that's got to happen every single weekend. The good thing about it is that you got to have a lot of endurance, and you do have two motos during the day, and so there's some time to make up here and there, but you cannot settle for, especially my mindset is I'm not settling for anything less than a win, but you got to be smart. Sometimes it just doesn't happen, and you got to keep cool and then focus on to the next weekend.
Yeah, well, and I think, both with outdoors and, and Supercross, a lot of guys, get frustrated. And like you said, there's days you show up to the track and you just don't have the bike, or you just know, hey, this isn't my week to win, and sometimes it just happens that way. And I think you're right. I mean, some days you just need to go, hey, the best I can do is a podium. I'm probably not going to win this week. And a lot of guys get frustrated and throw the whole race away, trying to get that win. And you as a rider, and you can tell you're maturing, you're just like, hey, we're going to take the best and the most points we can get this weekend, and hopefully we can go for the win next weekend.
Exactly. Yeah, like you said, a lot of people try to rush things and then make a huge mistake and possibly even get injured. So that's definitely a no-go. You don't want to throw yourself out of the championship, especially early in the championship. I mean, when it comes down to the last race, you've got to, if you ain't got nothing to lose, it's not like you're going to go stupid and do something gnarly on purpose. But, I think you as a rider, everybody has their ups and downs and their off days, but it's really, people say that you win the championship on bad days. So how can you, minimize mistakes and instead of doing a big one, even on a bad day, settle sometimes for a podium, which is not a bad thing by any means. Yeah. So I think the big caliber riders are thinking about the whole season, so a championship rather than just one race or one moto.
Yeah, well, and how has that been for you? Because, I mean, you're still a young guy, but it seems like, you've switched from, being the young gun coming in, and everybody's like, oh, man, we got to watch out for Roczen. Now you're the veteran, and there's guys that are coming in, that are rookies and things like that. I mean, how has that been for you? Because you're such a young guy racing, but, you're considered one of the veterans. You're the guy that's there week in and week out and fighting for wins. I mean, how has that been for you, the shift, or has it just kind of been organic and, nothing's changed?
Things have actually happened pretty quick. I mean, this is my third year in the 450 class, and man, the time flew by. I can remember coming in, you have race, and that makes it a lot easier because you got nothing to think about. But I think, I can handle pressure really good, and because I'm not letting anybody pressure me because my goals are really high. So I'm making my own pressure. But, you know, that's what it's about. A lot of riders are really good in practice and training, but once it comes to racing, they kind of just fold. And, you know, that is to get a championship, you can't do that. I'm definitely a racer. As soon as the gate drops, we're going. But, yeah, it's crazy to think that these 2.5 years now, they went by so quick, especially with my year last year, being injured and stuff. Obviously, I rode the whole outdoor season, but I came in injured into that one too. It's been crazy, but I've always loved the challenge of coming into a new spot, and I want to battle it up at the front right away. And this is what I'm going for every single time.
Yeah, well, and as a rider, I mean, it seems like, you know, how has this year been in particular? It seems like Supercross, it seems like the track design has been a lot different than years past this year.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't remember when I really got injured last year, but it was about round 8 or 9, whatever. I skipped quite a few races. So the year before, I mean, I haven't this year. I basically on some tracks skipped a whole year. And then, you know, you come there, you kind of forget how the track conditions were and this and that. So there's a lot of different types of dirt out there, which makes a huge difference with bike setup too. They just develop very, very different. But I do have to say that this year, even though, you know, I mean, I guess you can consider me a veteran somewhat since there's new riders coming in every year. Yeah, it's a learning experience, and I learned a lot this year, believe it or not. And I think I'm just that much of a better racer right now.
Yeah, it's got to have you really excited for the 2017 Supercross season.
I sure am, especially right now. Usually towards the end of Supercross, I was getting really tired because I've gotten overworked. But right now, I feel like I'm actually starting to peak right now. And I think it's important just to try to keep that alive and keep that going, and just be consistent and strong over the whole year, rather than peaking very early and then dropping off in the end.
Well, and how has it been with you? I mean, obviously, you know, making the switch to RCH Suzuki, you know, a year or so back. And, I mean, how has that switch been? Because obviously now, I mean, you guys are firing on all cylinders. You know, it's gas on, game on. You know, how's it been with you? I mean, working with Carmichael and Hart, I mean, you got some veterans there. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, it's a top-notch organization you moved to. I mean, how was that transition? Because now it seems like, you know, everything is absolutely, you know, working great for you guys.
Well, honestly, that doesn't really matter, because realistically, it is me, my mechanic, and a few people from the team. But, you know, obviously Kerry and Ricky, they're team owners, but they're not very much involved at all with what's going on with the bike and the ideas and the plans that we have and with testing. So, no, it's awesome to have those kind of guys behind us, but it's not like they're like Ricky is testing for us and this and that. Obviously, we always have their support. You know, I would say in the mosh pit right now, it's my mechanic, me, and a few people from the team. You know, we're coming up with these ideas to, you know, make the suspension better and this and that.
Yeah. Any events in outdoors, any tracks that you're looking forward to revisiting?
Honestly, there's a bunch of rat tracks. I really like Colorado. I do like Indiana. The last race, there's actually quite a few tracks that are pretty badass. The thing is, back when I was racing in Europe at the GP, it seemed like they always changed the track somewhat. Here, you come into the track, and they're pretty much the same every year. So it makes it, like in Supercross, they have a new track every single weekend, and every year there's always a total different layout. It makes it somewhat easier, you know, because you can say when you go to Washougal, you know the track already and the dirt, and it just kind of stays the same year after year. So, but overall, like I said, there's a bunch of rad tracks out there that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. Well, and here's a question. I mean, you know, like you were talking about outdoors. I mean, obviously, you know, you've been on a 450 a couple of years now. You know, and obviously the 250 before that. I mean, you know, how many notes? I mean, you know, setup and things like that. I mean, can you carry over from your days of a 250 and you know, and transition into the 450? I mean, how's that transition been for you as a rider? But I mean, was there anything you could take? I mean, as far as notes and setup and things like that, and transfer them to this platform?
Not at all.
None.
The 250 is a whole different story. The 250 and a 450. I have always been a guy that, I mean, I love 250, but I've always been a guy that loved the bigger bike. I know there's a lot of riders out there that don't. They're more 250 guys because they're kind of small and they like revving the bike, and you don't get very far with that in the 450 class. So settings and those kind of things, you can absolutely take nothing from the 250. So you have to kind of restart and reboot and go into the 450. For me, the transition was pretty easy. Yeah. But then, again, we have a lot more races in the 450, so I think that is more what people struggle with.
Well, and like you said, I mean, it seemed like right out of the box. I mean, you were at home on the 450. You see some of the guys make the transition to 250 to 450, and they just never have the speed that they did on a 250. You know, it's like oil and water for them. And
I mean, it's the bike is a lot heavier and a lot more powerful. So bike handling, especially Supercross and the whoops and stuff, is a whole nother story. At 250, like when I go on a 250 right now, I feel like I can bend the bars on the bike. You know what I mean? You can't do that with a 450. So it whoops in a 250. It just does. They kind of float over the whoops. Where a 450, there's a whole nother deal. Especially when they get rough. You know, you get side to side a lot. They have a lot more power. And actually, as you gas it in the whoops, it sucks the bike down a lot. So you tend to miss one, and it's really about bike setting a lot.
Well, before we let you go, what are the predictions this weekend? Vegas, the finale. You going to keep the streak alive?
Absolutely, that's the plan. We're going to finish it out strong. Hopefully, make it 3 in a row. I'm super motivated and confident. So I'm gonna treat it, of course, with respect. But I'm gonna try to go out there and I ripped the whole shot this past weekend. I'm gonna try to do the same thing and just never look back.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Ken. I know you're awful busy, and you finally get a bit of a downtime, and now you got some guy hitting you up for an interview. But appreciate the call in, and good luck this weekend.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me in the studio.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, buddy. Awesome interview with Ken Roczen, your winner, heading into Vegas, looking to keep his streak alive. And that being said, we got to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, wrapping things up on a very special edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. We don't do these very often, plugging some of our best interviews of the year into a show. But Independence Day here in the United States, I'm on vacation. Amy Houde has a ton of stuff going on up there in Canada, so we're taking our, I guess, a quick kind of mid-year break. But I don't know, man, the second half of the year, Amy, it's getting ready to start cranking.
In all honesty, I think it has to do with the fact that Terracross season is about to start, and in the second half of the year, Terracross kicks into high gear, and it's all over the map. It's a good time. We're gonna have so much fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again. I miss, Ronnie and Tommy, and I don't know if Tommy's racing again this year. I'm sure he is. He had a blast hanging out, and I know he wants to jump in one of those babies. But no, it's going to be so much fun, and yeah, I can't wait. There's so many adventures to be had in the rest of the 2016 year.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that heydays last year. That was definitely a standout moment of last year. I think we just had so dang much fun up there. It's just a cool atmosphere. I'm definitely looking forward to getting back and and doing some more Terracross racing for sure.
I can't wait for the Glamis round. Okay, all I heard is how much fun it was, and it was such a great event and an awesome party, and it was also somebody's birthday, I believe, too. So it's just such a cool time, and I've never had the opportunity to even ride my bike in Glamis. So you better believe that I am going to have a bike with some sand tires, and I'm going to do some dunes ripping as well.
Yeah, well, and right after that is SEMA. Like literally 2 days after that, SEMA show kicks off, and I know we're going to hopefully be doing a live show from SEMA. So lots to look forward to second half of the year. We couldn't do it without Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish Rally School, MTX Audio, Impact, Terracross, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. It's at AmyHood71. You can follow us both on Facebook as well. All those back episodes at downanddirtyshow.com, and download our app, available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. And, man, it's going to be a heck of a ride. Mid-year, it seems like it's flown by. It seems like it was just Christmas and we were kicking off. And yeah, and you've been full-time for like 6 months now. So, it's cool to have you, hanging out with me each and every week for a couple hours.
Oh, thank you. I love it.
So, all right, we are going to see you guys next week. A whole lot more to come on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. You better bet your ass we aren't going anywhere. So thanks for staying tuned, and as always, game on.